Wait,
Oh,
do I
Satan
get to
doesn't think
keep
too much
him,
about that.
or do I get kicked?
Is it time to dump that old desk? Elevate your office with Very. We have every
Substation 9. We spend a great amount of time on this channel looking at the SCP Foundation and how they tackle the anomalous, usually by capturing it, studying it, and keeping it contained for years on end. Sometimes we see normal people interact with anomalies, but generally these are short, tragic bursts of horror before the Foundation can come in to handle things. Parawatch, on the other hand, is an online group of conspiracy theorists and paranormal enthusiasts that seek out anomalies, hoping to peel back any inch of the veil they can. Parawatch in the SCP universe is very much inspired by the countless creepypasta posts that have showed up over the years, which brings us to Substation 9, a Parawatch article in the vein of a creepypasta, with an individual sharing some info on a very creepy location. I'll note that this article does feature a handful of images and videos which greatly add to the experience, but I've chosen to narrate over them to avoid interruptions. With that out of the way, let's take a look. The posts come from a user on the Parawatch forums known as Cthulhu, with the first post being on February 2nd, 2016 at 3:09 p.m. It reads, I work for an electric company that provides power to over a dozen warehouses and manufacturing complexes. Think of me as an over-glorified security guard. I ride around checking substations to make sure an OCB hasn't tripped, or an eagle hasn't nested on top of a transformer. I work the graveyard shift, which means most of my nights are spent sitting in a trailer and fighting for enough cell reception to stave off the crippling boredom. The only time this job involves any actual work is when it rains. First, some background. Whatever image you've got in your head of this place, you're probably wrong. It's a couple thousand acres of woodlands, rivers, and country roads with the occasional warehouse in a field. Calling this place remote doesn't do it justice. Even folks in the boonies don't know we're here. There's nobody around except the deer. You'll see 50, maybe 60 a night. The substations are just shacks out in the woods. The hardest part of the job isn't checking them, it's finding them. I don't want to give too many details. I like my job and would like to keep it, but there used to be a mining town near here. When they built a dam downstream, the whole place turned into a lake. Townsfolk were forced to relocate. The mine and factories were flooded. When the lake receded, they demolished everything and built new factories. Now here's where things get interesting. When they demolished all those buildings, they didn't demolish the basement. And most of these substations had underground tie-ins into them. Beneath each of these little overgrown shacks is a sprawling network of tunnels connecting to hundreds of basements for buildings that no longer even exist. This underground complex basically goes on forever. When it rains, the basement floods. When it rains hard, the water rises out of the basements and floods the substations, which are filled with extremely sensitive high-voltage equipment. Starting to see the problem? This is where I come in. My job is to drive out to each of these substations, go down into the basement, and make sure the sump pumps kick on. They usually do when the water hits a certain height, but the floats can get hung up, or the pumps need to be replaced. I know what you're thinking. Why not plug the basements up? Well, besides the cost, and having to shut down each substation while they work, there's also the fact that this job partly exists because someone has to check on those sump pumps. So none of us are exactly chomping at the bit to point this out to upper management. When you first get hired, old-timers all tell you the same thing. Don't fuck around in the basements. Don't want wander, don't explore, go down, do your job, come up. Watch where you step, and always bring 2 flashlights. Some of these tunnels are nearly a century old, made from being up to code just meant to didn't collapse 5 years after you built it. On top of that, any blueprints describing these places were lost in the flood. No one knows what's down here, or what connects to what. The guy that trained me once walked from one substation to another without ever catching a glimpse of sky. That's over 3 miles of tunnel. 3 miles. In case you're wondering, yeah, everyone says don't fuck around in the basement, but everyone still fucks around in the basement. You just have to watch your step, stay alert, always bring 2 flashlights. And trust me, you would not believe some of the shit we find down there. This tunnel right here, this is below, let's call it Substation 9. Cthulhu provides an image here of an ominous-looking tunnel lined with metal bars that extends far into the darkness. The farthest any of us have gotten down this tunnel is about 500 yards. That's 5 football fields, or under a third of a mile. What's past that, you ask? Nobody has a clue. The tunnel slants down, leaving the rest of it completely submerged. We've tried pumping it out, but the water won't go lower than what you see here, which means there's who knows how much more tunnel and basement past this point. I've got more to share, including pictures. I'll write more about this tomorrow. True to their word, Cthulhu made another post the following day, which reads, okay, first things first. A bunch of people have PM'd me saying that the picture isn't legit. There's no way there's miles of tunnels down here, etc. Let's put this to bed, shall we? Here, Cthulhu provides a video of them traveling down a barely illuminated staircase underground, showing the same tunnel from the earlier image as water drips in from above. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, I'll answer a couple of questions people have been asking. We use cheap disposable sump pumps because our company doesn't want to spend the money to install anything else. That being said, a few of the substations do have some old centrifugal pumps either right there or in an adjacent basement. We run hoses and use them as backups for areas that get flooded really bad. The problem is that some of these pumps are over 50 years old. It's hard to find compatible parts, and not many of us, besides me and a few others, know how to fix them. None of us are actual electricians. We're dispatchers for electricians. Rather than paying trained pros to watch the place, they pay us a fraction of the rate. When we find a blown fuse or a down transformer, we call the electricians and they handle it. We're also responsible for checking the OCBs and keeping the substations dry. The electricians don't go into the basement. We handle a lot of substations, over 50. The 2 biggest have 220 kilovolt transformers. They drop down to 66 kilovolts. We've also got a couple of booster stations, a potable water plant, and some other stuff. I don't want to get too specific about the mining town or when it flooded, because I'd rather not have people figuring out where this is or who I am. Again, I like my job, but I will say that after the flood, the mine was collapsed and never reopened. The scariest thing I've ever seen down here is a family of raccoons. If that doesn't sound very scary, then I presume you've never had your flashlight catch a pair of eyes flashing out from the shadows while you're stumbling around in an underground tunnel several miles away from the closest human soul. Some people have been asking about the always bring 2 flashlights thing. Let me show you something. Here they provide another video showing part of the tunnels, with the video plunging into pitch darkness when they turn off their flashlight. See how dark it gets when I turn off my flashlight? Now imagine that's your only flashlight, and you just lost it. Imagine having to navigate these tunnels in absolute darkness. To make matters worse, see this? This is a hole full of water. These basements are full of stuff like this. Drain trenches, collapsed floors, elevator shafts, even straight up pits. Some are just several feet deep. Others are several dozens of feet. A coworker of mine has fallen into one of these things, and let me tell you, they ain't no joke. Some even go down to a lower sub-basement that's been completely flooded. There's entire chambers down here full of old pumps and machines that have been submerged for decades. Again, you would not believe some of the shit we find down here. 2 days later, Cthulhu Hoop updates with some more information. Okay, it's been a while since I last posted, but I wanted to answer a few more questions. When we go down, we carry an O2 monitor. Mainly, we're worried about things like pockets of nitrogen. We also wear heavy gloves, rubber steel-toed boots, and ventilation masks in case of asbestos. A lot of these places smell pretty much exactly how they look. Sometimes they smell worse. You can still find some things from the old town above ground, in the woods. Mostly concrete slabs, but there's a rusted husk of a truck sitting in a tree somewhere. We have no idea where the collapsed mine is, and quite frankly, none of us are interested in looking for it. It's probably filled with poisonous fumes and other toxic, nasty shit. There aren't a lot of animals down there, because there aren't a lot of ways in that those directly controlled. I still have no idea how the fuck those raccoons managed it. Some of you have been asking me if anyone's ever actually gotten lost down here. Well, about that. Remember the 2 flashlight thing? It's just good sense. It's hard enough to find your way around down here. How are you going to manage without light? There's no phone reception either. Just you, alone, with miles and miles of decaying concrete, rancid pools of water, and rusted machines in pitch-black darkness. But we've got a saying in industrial words. Every rule is written in blood. The reason we all carry 2 flashlights is because of what happened when someone didn't. I had a coworker. Let's call him John. He was a good guy. Clever, good head for numbers, kept to himself, real quiet. Along with me and 3 others, we handled the graveyard shifts for the whole crew. One year, during a thaw, the sump pumps were getting overwhelmed. Too much water coming in, they couldn't dump it fast enough. John wanted to hook up some of these old centrifugal pumps that were just sitting around in these basements, use them to give our own pumps a fighting chance. It was a good idea, but a lot of work. Some of these pumps hadn't seen action for decades. But John stuck with it. He hunted down every pump he could find, serviced them, hooked them up with hoses, and managed to keep our substations dry all the way until late spring. A few days after we got things under control, I did a swap and ended up coming in during a day shift. I was John's lead. When I got to the trailer, the truck was missing. John was gone. The last entry in the logbook mentioned heading out to check on the sump pump in one of the substations. I had to walk there. The truck was right outside, still idling. I went downstairs and searched for over 2 hours for John. Then I called the police. There was an investigation, a search, whole 9 yards. Most of us came in off the book to help. We looked through those tunnels for a month, maybe even longer. Never found so much as hair or hide of them. About a year later, another coworker, we'll call her Treese, took me aside. She showed me something she found during one of her rounds. A flashlight with dead batteries. It had some tape wrapped around the pommel with John's initials soldered on it. Another couple of days later, Cthulhu comes back with another video. People are expressing skepticism regarding the size of these basements and whether they're not all really interconnected. I took a short video to try and give you a sense of scope. Here. Cthulhu Hoop shows another video, around 3.5 minutes long, of them moving through a number of different rooms and sections of the dark basement, illuminated only by their flashlight. See that tunnel at the end? That's part of a whole other facility that's just as big as the one I started in. I'll try to take footage of it later. Anyway, more answers to questions. Company policy is that we're not supposed to be exploring these spaces. They know we do it, but they pretend not to know. No, we never found John. As far as the police are concerned, he wandered off into the woods. As far as we're concerned, he fell into a flooded sub-basement and drowned. For those of you saying we ought to have shut the facility down, drained the basements completely, and kept looking for John, that's basically what we tried to do. Again, some of these sub-basements cannot be drained. Water just keeps getting in, either from the river or from the flooded mine, possibly both. Remember, you're dealing with massive underground structures that have been filling with water for decades. Unless you're willing to start a billion-dollar excavation project to dig out all these basements, there's literally no way to recover that body. If you think it sounds creepy to work inside a massive underground complex knowing that the drowned corpse of your coworker is lurking in a flooded sub-basement somewhere under your feet, well, you're right. It's creepy as hell. It's why most of us stay far the fuck away from the substation he vanished in. A lot of you have said you want to hear about some spookums. Well, I know this is going to be disappointing, but outside of what happened to John, literally nothing spooky has ever happened to me here. A few of my coworkers have told me about some things they've encountered, though. I don't know whether you should trust them, but I'll provide a few examples. Patrice says that on at least 3 separate occasions, she's heard something like muffled, old-timey radio music playing from below. She didn't recognize the song, but says it was the same one all 3 times. Ed, the guy who trained me, says he's heard some of the old original pumps kicking on by themselves. This actually isn't all that weird. John repaired a bunch of them. Some we still use even today. But Ed claims the ones he's heard kicking on aren't the ones John repaired. They're deeper in. Somewhere in the parts of the complex that we haven't explored yet. There's another thing I should clarify, and I guess counts as a spookum. We haven't explored the entire complex. Not yet. There's still dozens of passages, doorways, and stairwells we haven't gone down. Phil, one of the old-timers, claims he once saw some pale, naked guy squatting in one of the tunnels, but we're all pretty sure he's either bullshitting us or it was really just a raccoon. He also says that he saw a section of Substation 9 that ties into the collapsed mine. 2 new hires claim to hear knocking and yelling on the other side of a sealed door. Several doors down here are welded shut. In both cases, the guys left for a different job. I mentioned we have a potable water plant, but I should have clarified. We had a potable water plant. It's abandoned now. No one's ever been able to get clean drinking water working in this place. All the faucets and drains would get gummed up with this congealed gray paste that smells like rotting fish. We use a portable toilet and bring in bottled water by the truckload. That's basically it. Like I said, I haven't encountered any of this stuff myself, so I'm pretty skeptical. Cthulhu Hoop doesn't post again for 5 weeks, at which point they write, okay, so it's been a while since I posted, but there's been some news. Ed found John's phone. He nearly broke the damn thing when he was sloshing through the water trying to fix a sump pump. He felt something hard and flat under his foot. John kept his phone in one of those industrial-strength cases, so it was actually in good condition. It can still manage to hold a charge. We went through his shit and, well, like most of us, he took photos of what's below. We recognized most of them, but not the most recent ones. Cthulhu Hoop provides a handful of photos here, showing one section of a basement that's been completely flooded, and one picture of a narrow tunnel, with what appears to be a set of eyes at the far end, looking at the camera. Here's the messed up part. Ed found his phone in Substation 9. But according to the logbook, John didn't even go near Substation 9 the day he disappeared. We're all kind of spooked right now. Patrice and some others are talking about quitting. Either way, we've all talked it over and decided the best option is to turn the phone over to the police and let them sort it out. I almost forgot. That last picture, Phil keeps saying he's seen that tunnel before. He says that it's the collapsed mine. Cthulhu Hoop gives another update 6 days later. Police are involved. Somebody must have lit a fire under the company's ass, because now they're moving heaven and earth to get Substation 9 drained. Brought in some gigantic pumps to do it with. We've all been working overtime. The pay is good, but nobody's really that happy. None of us want to be here. This is a waste of time, honestly. John's phone just drifted. We're not going to find him down here. On the bright side, at least we'll get to see what the hell is at the end of that hall. Cthulhu Hoop follows up with 3 more posts the following week. Patrice and 2 others quit today. Company's offering me time and a half to cover shifts while they look for new workers. Nobody goes into the basements anymore. Not unless we have to. The flooded hall in Substation 9 ends in a set of stairs that go down deeper. They think they found John's body. It wasn't John's. Lastly, Cthulhu Hoop gives their final post, consisting of just a 6.5-minute long video. The video begins with them walking down a staircase into the partially flooded basement. They look around for some time, their meager flashlight offering them scant illumination, and the only sound is of their breathing and their footsteps in the water. Disturbingly, however, during their exploration, some old-fashioned music plays very briefly and faintly in the distance. Eventually, they reach an area that's more completely flooded, along with a section with the ceiling partially caved in. It's clear that these are the sections that were photographed on John's phone. Climbing up from here leads them to the hall shown in John's last picture. And just as they begin to walk forward through it, their light goes out, and the video abruptly ends. Alright, so it hits on some pretty common creepypasta tropes, and the videos do add a nice touch to the whole experience, being very reminiscent of the Horror in the High Desert film series. Presumably, Cthulhu Hoop is alive and well at the end, as they had to post the video, so the abrupt ending is really just there to freak you out a bit more. It would seem that the anomaly present here are the old miners from the abandoned mine. They're still present in some form in these old basements. It's unclear if that's how John died, although really it sounds pretty likely that his flashlight died and he fell into some sub-basement to drown. I think this is a pretty entertaining creepypasta, even though it doesn't really have anything to do with the SCP universe, and could have been posted anywhere. Then again, it's articles and narratives like this that do lend more realism to the world. Not all encounters with the anomalous have to be overt and direct, as sometimes people will only brush up against the inexplicable.
smoker! Pills here! Stop! That witch is getting mad as hell! Fire in the hole! That witch is about to blow. Damn it! I'm through! Damn it, I need a hand here! I'm reloading! That witch is mad as hell! Oh, shit! Watch out! Watch out! spinner!
Oh, that friggin' hurts! Come on, get up.
Look out!
Watch out! Shoot it! Shoot it! Damn it, shut down! Hey! Hey! Heads up!
I'm down! Don't even think we need to be here.
Almost there!
That's some come on the shit!
Oh.
Shoot the armored zombies in the back! She gonna shit! 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 Shoot that son of a bitch in the back! Watch out!
Well, you made it to the job. Welcome to your new job at Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria. by the way. Get him a third of turbo. Yeah, holidays just don't feel special anymore. Oh, you know what? I should have gotten like a pipe bomb that like. Well, I'll look for that after this. Like a pipe bomb and Molotov that explodes in the fireworks. You know.
Hold on, here they come.
That was great. No! Grenade! Smoke. Fire in the hole! Hills here. Get ready. Charger. Oh man, look at this. Here they come! Watch out! Hey, watch out!
Incoming.
Look out!
yeah, Minecraft. Mojang is finally adding copper armor and copper tools, which I will admit did surprise me. I'm not really excited much about it. I am a little bit more happy about the copper golem and the copper chest. I think that's like a really good addition. That's how they described it. Unfortunately, the blueberries were not an official thing they're adding. Very unfortunate.
Ready for this?
Yeah, the copper chest, I really like the way that one looks. It does like look modded though, which isn't bad. It just reminds me of mods. I don't know, I like the new tier of tools being added. I know people are gonna be like just go to iron, that's better than copper. But I don't know.
Look out! Weapons over here! Grenade! Check this out. Richard's mad as hell.
I like this low SFX weapon sound at first, but I feel like it gets old quickly. I just use suppressed, normal suppressed sounds. Because I don't even know if this helps.
Shoot the tank! Yes, sir!
Man, I had a day off today. And I did nothing productive. I didn't draw. I did nothing.
Yeah, we gotta go! Neil's here!
Peels. Lewis and his peels. You know how games have like really high resolution, like really high quality graphics? It must be more difficult to mod those kinds of games.
First aid kit over here!
And let's see, what else was I gonna say? Yeah, also, it's obvious, like, you need a more powerful computer to handle those games. And I feel like only a few people can, like, play those games with mods. optimistic and say the Lilo and Stitch reboot would be, you know, it was just okay. Like, it definitely wasn't as good as the original. But, you know, it was at least a little good. But the more I learned about it, it's like, no, this reboot is bad. It drains, like, everything from the original. I love how Reddit hates Mr. Whitaker and other YouTubers. But to be honest, some of the things he says is I can see why people don't like him. But I don't know. I just find it amusing to hear people talk about current events and saying some maybe controversial things. My goodness, I really hope this finale ends soon. I'm confused.
Come on, man, get up! Over here. Watch out, reload! Reloading!
Man, that's a sneaky smoker. Yeah, that spot is sneaky. At the bank. I think that's a nightmare tank. Too spicy for you too. Alright. Yeah, I kind of feel bad for Ruben Sim. He's been sued by Roblox and he might get sued by Discord. I need to get some work on them. Fuck. Well, that was something. Oh, come on. Oh, did I get it?
Look out!
Oh wait a minute, no, that's not a nightmare tank, that's a gnome tank. Yeah, I'm silly. Yeah, look at that gnome tank. I got gnomed. Literally got gnomed. Oh, dear. What the signal? Gosh, I'm lucky that they're up there distracting the gnome tank. Aquatic Neptune. I wish he uploaded again. Oh, finally. Freaking finally, dude. Oh, the freaking gravity tank.
Shoot it! Shoot the witch! Shoot the witch!
That ain't bulletproof. Watch out! Come on, guys, I need some help.
Watch out!
Watch out! Synergy!
Spit!
Damn it! Reloading.
Y'all, I'm looking more deranged and disheveled as the days go by. I need to remove that Uzi add-on. No! Man, I love how the forest is. It has like sand. It has sand. You know what? That's something I should do in Minecraftia. Is take a desert and just like populate it with trees. And get like seashells. And put that on the ground too. That'll be a desert forest. You know, that's a new biome I need to add to Kaz. I need to make like an official list for this stuff. Like, Kaz, all the deserts in Kaz are lush to an extent. Like, there's no place that's like, except for volcanoes, they're like hot enough to not have plant life. Or, you know, typical plant life. I want you to be like fire-themed plants, but I don't know. Sometimes, like, you can't decide. Aha.
We've got to get inside! Nice shot! She's gonna explode!
What the Sigma?
Come on! Everybody inside! No! No! Reloading! Watch out! Nice shoot that zombie in the back! Nice shoot.
Freaking texts. Whoa! You know, I don't know. Aperture science gun. Man, I should have kept the pump shotgun. Frickle fluff. Parkour on the trains. For duck's sake. Oh no, I think the red mist is about to happen.
I'm in trouble!
Uh-oh. Go, 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 go.
We cannot leave anyone behind!
Meow, 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 meow. Yeah, the mods I use for copper tools is better than copper. No, everything is copper. Yeah, that's the way I meant to say. Everything is copper is a good mod for Minecraft if you want copper tools. It also adds copper golems, but they're like iron golems and not copper golems that like we have now. Yeah, but I'm glad Mojang is finally adding mob vote, mobs from mob vote that didn't make it. I really think they're trying to earn their reputation back, I guess, because a lot of people were angry at them. Mob votes were happening. I don't know if you're like someone who's sensible enough to know that Bedrock is better, not better, worse, and Java is better, and you know how to like get mods. Like I really think you should like learn how to get mods and then invest in a PC, because Bedrock Edition just doesn't have mods. It has crappy add-ons. I don't know what that's about. There's this create add-on that also adds copper tools, but I barely ever use that. I mean, it's okay. I haven't played it recently, but I've learned to use create more. And I really like it. I like the one where it adds flans to guns. Well, flans is its own mod, but I meant there's add-ons for create that does something with the yeah, you get what I mean. Stupid bitches. Fuck. I need to draw or something. I don't know. Stop whining, stupid larva. Oh, this is gonna be cool. Watch this. Here it comes. Whoa! That's so cool. I wonder what the other side of the bridge leads to. Also, I was watching this video about back to school, that custom campaign, and it has a lot of like thought put into it. It has like a lot of like content actually. I was surprised. I was quite surprised, not gonna lie. Oh no. Super Mario Logan is using AI? Oh no, is this the finale? Yeah, dunk that. Man, I love the World Edit mod. It's so much faster to use it. This is why everyone must boycott Bedrock Edition. And just, you know, get Java Edition on the PC. You know, invest in the PC, invest in getting Java Edition, and getting CurseForge. Oh, that's super fluff.
No! Shit! 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 Reloading!
Realistically, how many zombies would be naked? Oh! Come on, snipe it. Snipe the oh. Well, that's something. Statistically, how many zombies would be naked? The bridge jumped. Why? Yeah, in a zombie apocalypse, would you follow the road, or would you, like, avoid the road? Like, which would be more populated? Like, the woods? Like, a lot of people might flee to the woods, then get infected. You know? Nice like rice. Okay, oh dear. I need to rid of this. Low quality weapon SFX. I think, you know what, I might as well do it. Play Donkeys and or Dungeons and Donkeys after this. Yeah, yeah. Anime billboard. It's real.
Check it out.
Yeah, check it out. Redhead. Fuck, I didn't do it on time. I didn't do it on time.
Thank you.
Uh-oh.
All right, now I'm back. Charger!
Phew. Dude, these cars are like a death trap.
This is just a mess. Ah, bullshit. This could be fun.
It's just another manic Monday. Ah, I missed that. I heard that a lot as a kid.
A Ferris wheel and lights on. We are walking. We ready?
Alright, let's see what's...
Charger!
Whoa, how cool. It's too bad I don't know what animes these are.
Don't shoot that car. We better search these rooms.
There's some not safe for work billboards too. Oh man. There's a lot of good pump shotgun add-ons. Very cool. But the auto shotgun, I need to like... I want there to be a good one. Whoa. Heh. Dang, I'm starting to mimic Deadwing Dork's laugh. Sometimes. Okay, this looks cool. Wait a minute, why am I looking through the workshop right now? I should be, frick. Yeah, now it's time for Dungeons and Donkeys Online.
raise a question. If humanity came into contact with an actual god, how long would it take before we killed it and investigated its body? SCP-4612 deals with this sort of question, as the Foundation finds the remains of an entity that seems to have been ritually killed many years ago. Let's take a look. SCP-4612 refers to two related anomalies. The first, 4612-A, being the body of a large, slug-like invertebrate consisting of white, translucent flesh with elastic texture. The body shows no signs of decay despite centuries having passed since its estimated time of death. It's 10 meters long, 1 meter wide, and lying atop a stone altar. Its anatomy includes 6 human arm-shaped structures measuring 3 meters in length, each terminating with a hand with 10 digits and a crystalline structure in the palm. A flexible fin travels down the length of the body, and there is a lengthwise incision along its underside, performed after its death. Its blood is bright blue and uncoagulated, and the body emits considerable amounts of Akiva radiation, consisting of white, translucent flesh, a large, slug-like injuries. The first, two related anomalies. SCP-4612 refers to two related anomalies. The first, 4612-A, being the body of a large, slug-like invertebrate consisting of white, translucent flesh with elastic texture. The body shows no signs of decay despite centuries having passed since its estimated time of death. It's 10 meters long, 1 meter wide, and lying atop a stone altar. Its anatomy includes 6 human arm-shaped structures measuring 3 meters in length, each terminating with a hand with 10 digits and a crystalline structure in the palm. A flexible fin travels down the length of the body, and there is a lengthwise incision along its underside, performed after its death. Its blood is bright blue and uncoagulated, and the body emits considerable amounts of Akiva radiation, essentially a quantifiable energy connected to deific entities. It has emitted a steady increase in this radiation for unknown reasons since it was discovered. The entity is housed in an underground structure beneath a provisional site located underneath the wine cellar of Eckert House in England. The door to the vault is inscribed with thaumaturgical glyphs which, at one time, induced a mild cognitohazard, causing the viewer to ignore the entryway. The underground structure is constructed of stone blocks, many of which are charred and warped from heat. Cuneiform glyphs of unknown thaumaturgical purpose are etched onto the surface of many of them. The second anomaly, 4612-B, is a humanoid entity of average build with eyes that glow a bright blue. It has demonstrated the ability to manipulate thermal energy as well as anomalous strength far beyond what is expected given its height and build. It has referred to 4612-A as its father, despite being two distinct species. We're then given a memo from the director of the provisional site, Iona Varga, concerning the origins and significance of 4612-A. Through broad historical survey, numerous events categorized as a backsliding of technological capabilities have been identified. Many of these instances have grounded explanations by historians, but some do not. We're provided a short list of recorded appearances by the entity in the historical record, coinciding with such a technological cultural impediment. Around 2000 BCE, renditions of the entity were put on Sumerian pottery, inviting speculation related to the interference of the entity in Sumerian culture and raising questions about the end of that culture's dominance in the area. Around 1100 BCE, after the great conflict between the Mechanites and Sarkic in the Bronze Age Mediterranean area, most of the fabled technology of those who followed the broken god vanished, instead of affecting the progress of Bronze Age technologies. The entity matches the description of ancient scrolls apparently written by a Mechanite priest, previously interpreted to be a mythical representation of Sarkic bioforms. Around 200 BCE, the culture of the Davites vanished after being defeated by Chinese forces. Archaeological digs have revealed murals at a Davite ritual site dating to this period, depicting a creature that can be interpreted to be 4612-A, again raising the question of the entity's involvement with that culture's end. Recent historical documents originating in a monastery on Holy Island in England describe a demonic creature matching the entity's description, appearing in 412 CE, and journal entries found in a burial site from the 14th century in Sicily describe visitation of a spirit causing outbreaks of Black Plague in the surrounding area. The spirit described matches the appearance of 4612-A.
But
the entity was discovered on December 19, 1986, while Foundation agents surveilled a known member of the Serpent's Hand, an anomalous group of interest dedicated to removing the veil between the normal world and anomalous. The agents followed the member onto the grounds of Eckert House and observed her performing an unknown thaumaturgical ritual to enter the door to the underground structure. The agents then pursued her and witnessed her kneeling before the remains and weeping. Upon seeing the entity, they detained the person of interest and called for reinforcements. An MTF mobilized and arrived 8 hours later, accompanied by Agent Rebecca Douglas, a Level 3 psychometrist, capable of experiencing associations, images, and other sensory information from touching an object. A survey of the site revealed no obvious anomalies other than the cadaver of the entity, along with 23 corpses of human males of various ages surrounding it. Most of the corpses were significantly desiccated, charred, and had skeletal structures partially incinerated. Several of them were dismembered due to blunt force trauma, and Agent Douglas noted substantial psychic trauma present in all human remains on site. We're provided an interview between Director Varga and the person of interest, several months after her apprehension. The individual appears disheveled and pale, and doesn't respond to Varga's questions about Eckert House and what she was doing there. Varga remarks that they can do this for weeks, as she belongs to what's little more than a terrorist group, and they don't have the Geneva protocols here. Varga gets up to leave, but the individual finally speaks, saying that she doesn't know much anyways. She knows that the original master of the house was an occultist, and the house was named after him, she thinks. She ran across reference to his reaching out to the Wanderer's library and wanted to investigate. She didn't know what she would find. Varga asks how she found the sub-basement under the structure, as there's no record of it. The individual says that she surveyed the building and viewed the door by using a thaumaturgical working. Varga then asks if she knows what species the cadaver is, and the individual just asks in turn what species is a god. Varga asks if she really believes it to be a god, and the individual says that it was an alien entity that was ritually butchered, asking in turn what Varga would call it. Varga simply replies that it's an anomaly, causing the individual to shake her head and put her head on the table. Varga then asks what she's not telling them, as the librarians are supposed to be big supporters of the dissemination of knowledge. The individual says that she knows that the timing was important, and asks what happened here in the late 1770s. Varga looks at her notes and says that she's a geneticist and xenobiologist, but she remembers reading that the Industrial Revolution started in England around that time. She asks what that has to do with a non-terrestrial cadaver, and the individual just says that she doesn't know, but that she came here to find out. The occultist mentioned by the individual is believed to be William Henry Eckert, the initial owner and resident master of Eckert House. He was an active member in several occult societies and held regular meetings of such societies at his home. He made his fortune mining iron and copper, with local historians having theorized that he was investing in the burgeoning movement towards industrial revolution. Records from the Yorkshire Historical Society mention a meteor strike occurring on the evening of September 17, 1779, causing significant damage to the house, although the structure doesn't currently exhibit damage that would be caused by such an event. Eckert was last seen by his servants entering his library on the morning of the meteor strike and was considered dead after the incident. No mention of the underground structure or of the entity are made in the historical record, although local legends note that a man made of fire was seen walking out of the ruined house after the impact. We're provided a letter that was written by Eckert to a member of the occult society, retrieved in a raid upon a Serpent's Hand stronghold. It reads, 5th of May, 1779. Good Anthony, I hope this letter finds you well, my friend. I grow concerned with the others of our society. Our brethren must understand the grand scale of our endeavor. Any cost that comes forthwith will be well earned, whether in pecuniary losses or in our very blood. There is an inhuman entity that holds our lives in its grip. We have no choice but soil our hands if we wish our great empire to thrive. If we turn from this task, what will happen to future generations? The library has allowed our supervised review of many tomes, and I have recently found a ritual that was once used to bind a god, and should suffice for our noble purpose. Please, my dear friend and collaborator, speak with the others. Remind them of our sacrifices, and what we stand to gain. The consequences of our actions against our adversary will pale when compared to the great advances we can achieve for the human race. We must push on. Your friend, William Henry Eckert, Society of Yorkshire Thaumaturgy. That certainly sounds like a letter we'd read in a horror game before seeing some really messed up stuff. Attempts to move the corpse of the entity proved to be unsuccessful, as it exhibits a density far beyond what would be expected, and it's estimated to weigh over 26,000 kilograms. The altar where it's lying is assessed as anomalous, given its ability to hold the body without losing structural integrity. Varga decides that attempting to move the corpse would not be nearly as cost-effective as testing on site, so Provisional Site 91 is established. Small samples were surgically removed from it for ease of testing, showing that the entity has a cellular structure not matching any entries throughout the Foundation's biological database, and it seems to be based on a blending of carbon and silicon. The sample was exposed to electrical current of various charges, alpha, gamma, and ultraviolet radiations. It showed no change in its state, absorbing them and showing no signs of degradation or decay. Visible wavelengths of light as well as infrared are not absorbed but produce rippling motion in the structure of the fin running along its body. Residual energies exposed to the sample of flesh have been observed emitting from the crystalline structures present in its hands, and transmission of energies from the sample to the body occur instantaneously. It's theorized that the crystalline structures were used to conduct energies in an unknown process. The lengthwise incision along its body emits significantly higher Akiva radiation than the rest of the body, and the ritual or surgical procedure was apparently interrupted, as indicated by the bloodied palm prints along the length of its body. It's theorized that the corpse was to be used in a thaumaturgical ritual of unknown purpose. X-ray imaging of the corpse is impossible, as the remains absorb radiation, but ultrasound examination and portable MRI scans have shown a complete lack of internal organs. Its body is made up of fibrous muscle structures and a vast nervous system with nodules of unknown utility. Varga puts in a proposal to the O5 Council for experimentation using its genetic material, but approval is still pending. Given the lack of information that physical testing has produced, Agent Douglas submitted a proposal to Varga to use psychometry to scan the remains. Varga agrees, and the two gather around the corpse to conduct the test. Douglas touches the corpse in silence for 2 minutes, before saying that it's faint. She can feel something just under the surface, but something's blocking her. Varga suggests that maybe the event was too long ago for much to be left, but Douglas says that that isn't it, as there's enough psychic trauma in the stones of the hallway to give her a headache. She says she has an idea, though, and asks Varga if she's squeamish, before plunging both of her hands into the incision up to her elbows. Varga takes a sharp breath but doesn't say anything, and then Douglas screams. A psychic shockwave emits from the corpse, shattering the bulbs in temporary lighting set up around the chamber. Varga activates 2 light sticks and asks what's happening, but Douglas doesn't respond, just slumping to her knees with her hands still inside the corpse. Varga asks again, but she's interrupted by a shimmering blue light emitting from the body as figures appear throughout the room, including a hooded individual identified as Eckert standing over the corpse. He's holding a knife in the air, chanting loudly in garbled Aramaic, as the audio quality is poor and the chanting is indecipherable. He sinks the blade into the body, slicing along its length, and continues chanting as he slips one hand into the incision, overlaying himself onto Douglas's position. 20 or more other voices rise up from the other figures in the room, matching Eckert's chanting as he holds the knife up, covered in blue blood. The knife begins to glow a dull red as a bright light engulfs the room, and the structure shakes significantly. The ceiling crumbles inwards, and a beam of bright light illuminates the room momentarily. When it fades, a new individual, 4612-B, stands a few feet away, dressed in a long cloak and wearing a tricorn hat. He shouts at Eckert, asking him what he's doing, causing Eckert to stumble backwards and drop the knife, asking what he is. 4612-B just tells him to step away from the body of his father, asking if murder wasn't enough for him that they had to desecrate his father's corpse. Eckert is sweating, turning to look at the other figures, but none support him. He says that he had no idea, and he didn't even know it was a he. The individual asks why he dissects his body, and Eckert just says that they wanted to use it for a ritual to produce miracles. The individual asks if this is his miracle, pointing to the corpse, and says that they killed the only living thing that truly knew him. Eckert tries to argue that it wasn't their intention, but he's interrupted by the individual stabbing him through the chest with his hand. A shower of blood and viscera splash onto the floor as the individual tears Eckert's body in two, both halves starting to smolder and burn as they fall to the stone floor. He looks down at the burning corpse for 30 seconds as the other figures start to scream, and some of them flee towards the exit. The individual looks up, his eyes shining, as one of the figures steps forward. He pleads that Eckert was the architect of this drama, and they had scarce knowledge of his father's existence. They only hoped to improve the lot of all mankind, and begs him for mercy. The individual pauses before stepping forward and placing his hand on the man's shoulder. He says that they wanted to achieve a goal, and so they have, but they didn't consider the consequences. The man's hair and skin ignite, his screams cut off by a strike of the individual's hand. He calls the others apes and tells them to come and show him their miracles. For the next 12 minutes, he kills each of the other 21 figures, using fire and blunt force trauma. After he's finished, he stands before the corpse of the entity before sinking to his knees, in the same space occupied by Douglas. The blue light from the entity fades along with his image, leaving the underground structure as it was before, and Douglas collapses. I'm sure I'm not the only one that imagined that scene as coming out of a dark anime. Douglas spent 5 weeks in recuperation, during which she was rarely conscious. A figure resembling 4612-B was seen entering her room on video surveillance 36 days after her collapse. Security staff was mobilized, but there was no sign of him. When they approached Douglas, she was alert but had a thumbprint on her forehead just above the bridge of her nose, which was unable to be cleaned off by medical personnel. During debriefing, she was asked to recount any discussion with the individual prior to the security staff's arrival. She reports that he claimed she was only alive because she was merely investigating. She also claimed to have significant interference with her psychometry, as all she could sense were the following words being repeated: "Eckert died for a reason." The search for 4612-B is ongoing. Alright, so we have the corpse of an entity that the Foundation would typically classify as a deity in some form, that's been around for at least several thousand years. Historical records seem to show that this entity was perhaps responsible for regularly preventing humanity from advancing technologically. Eckert was aware of this entity and used a ritual obtained from the Wanderer's library to bind it amidst the Industrial Revolution. Eckert knew that the entity would have sabotaged the revolution in some way, and so set out to do a good thing, theoretically, killing it and using a ritual to control its power in some way. Where they went wrong, however, is not being aware of the god's son, who wasn't too happy about the situation, and who still seems to be kicking around in the modern day. While the ritual plan was perhaps a bit foolish and optimistic, it does seem like something the Foundation would do themselves in the admonition timeline. Even still, the cultists had no real reverence for the fact that this thing was deific, and neither does the Foundation, with Varga treating it as an anomaly, like all the rest. I think that the Foundation, had they been aware of an entity that was responsible for sabotaging humanity's technological efforts on a large scale, would absolutely have contained it, possibly terminating it if need be. Obviously, this article ends on a bit of a cliffhanger, and that's because it's actually the first in an entire series of articles known as the Hekatoncheres cycle, which delves further into the past of the entity and its son, as well as the future of Douglas and Varga. Perhaps I'll cover the rest of the series in full at a later date, but I think the article works well enough on its own. Most of the time, these sort of things go wrong during the ritual itself, but few expect for the god's kid to show up in the middle of it and Fist of the North Star you and your buddies.
Yeah, Elite is a bit too difficult for me, at least on my own. I guess we'll end it there. Yep, it kind of ended disappointedly. Ended in a disappointing way, didn't it? Oh well. Yep, don't know what to do now, lol. Yeah, Exploring Series is a pretty fun channel to listen to sometimes. broken. Okay. Well, I hope you have a good night or day. See ya.